As I sit here surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, I'm reminded of the countless afternoons spent with Grandma Aurora, her blue eyes sparkling like a summer sky, her hugs a gentle balm that could heal any pain. To me, she was an open book, warm, wise, and joyful, with a laughter that could light up the darkest of rooms. But little did I know, my perception of her was about to be shattered, like the delicate pages of an old book. It was after she passed away, in the quiet hours when the world seemed to hold its breath, that I stumbled upon a secret she had kept hidden for so long. While sorting through her belongings, I found an old wooden box, tucked away in a corner of her attic. The box itself was unassuming, its surface worn smooth by the touch of generations. But as I lifted the lid, a faint scent of lavender wafted out, carrying with it whispers of the past. Inside, nestled between yellowed letters and faded photographs, lay a diary. Its cover was made of worn leather, embossed with a single word, Aurora. The pages within were yellowed, their edges curled with age, as if they had been kissed by time itself. I felt a shiver run down my spine as I opened the diary, the creak of its spine like a whispered secret. As I began to read, the world around me melted away, leaving only the echoes of a life I thought I knew. But this was not the Aurora I had known, the one who had taught me the secrets of the garden, who had sung lullabies that could calm the most troubled of minds. This was a woman with a story to tell, a story of love, of sacrifice, and of secrets kept hidden across generations. The pages turned, revealing a life lived in the shadows of history, a life marked by forbidden love and hidden legacies. I felt like a detective, unraveling the threads of a mystery that had been woven into the fabric of our family's history. And with each passing page, I realized that I had only scratched the surface of Grandma Aurora's story. As I invite you to join me on this journey, I warn you that the revelations to come will challenge everything you thought you knew about love, family, and the power of the human spirit. We will traverse generations, uncovering secrets that had been buried and treasures that had been lost. It is a story of resilience, of courage in the face of adversity, and of the enduring power of love. So let us embark on this journey together, as we unearth the secrets of Grandma Aurora's hidden diary. Let us venture into the shadows of the past, and emerge transformed, with a deeper understanding of the complexities of the human heart. The story begins here, in the silence of a summer afternoon, with the worn pages of a diary, and the whispers of a woman who had been keeping secrets for a lifetime. The summer air was alive with the sweet scent of blooming wildflowers and the gentle hum of cicadas, a soothing serenade that filled the quiet streets of Willow Creek. It was a small town, nestled in the heart of the countryside, where time seemed to stand still. The residents lived simple lives, dictated by the rhythms of nature, waking with the sun, working in the fields, and retiring with the stars. In this idyllic setting, a young woman named Aurora grew up, her spirit as vibrant as the wildflowers that dotted the landscape. She was a dreamer with a heart full of wonder and a mind full of questions. Her love for reading was her escape, a way to explore the world beyond the rolling hills and dusty roads of Willow Creek. She devoured books of all kinds, from classics to adventure stories, and her imagination ran wild with the possibilities. Aurora lived with her family on a modest farm, surrounded by the people she loved. Her parents, John and Emily, were hard-working farmers, their hands worn from years of tilling the soil and tending to their crops. Her older brother, Thomas, was a young man with a passion for flying, his eyes always fixed on the horizon, dreaming of the day he could soar through the skies. And then there was Lily, her younger sister, a gentle soul with a poet's heart, who saw the world through a lens of beauty and magic. The days blended together in a seamless dance of routine and simplicity. Mornings began early, with the sound of roosters crowing and the smell of fresh-baked bread wafting from the kitchen. Aurora would help her mother with the chores, feeding the chickens and collecting eggs from the coop, before heading off to school with her siblings. The afternoons were filled with laughter and play, as they explored the woods, picked wildflowers, and chased after butterflies. As the sun began to set, the family would gather on the porch, watching the stars twinkle to life in the night sky. Aurora would sit with her notebook, scribbling down her thoughts and dreams, her pen scratching out a world of possibilities on the page. It was a peaceful life, one that seemed untouched by the turmoil of the world beyond Willow Creek. And yet, amidst this tranquility, Aurora felt a stirring within her, a sense of restlessness that she couldn't quite explain. It was as if she was being called to something more, something that lay just beyond the horizon, beckoning her to explore and discover. She didn't know what it was or where it would lead her, but she felt it in her bones, a gentle nudge that she couldn't ignore. Little did she know, her life was about to change in ways she never could have imagined, and the peaceful world of Willow Creek would soon be shaken to its core. As the summer of 1939 waned, the tranquility of Willow Creek began to fray at the edges. News of European tensions seeped into the small town, like the slow creep of autumn chill. At first it seemed a distant rumble, a murmur of grown-ups in hushed tones. But as September bloomed into October, the whispers grew louder, the radio broadcasts more urgent. Thomas, Aurora's older brother, listened with rapt attention, his eyes aglow with excitement, dreaming of adventure. Their parents, however, exchanged worried glances, their faces creased with concern for the family's safety and livelihood. Aurora, caught between her brother's thrill-seeking and parents' pragmatism, felt her own world begin to tilt. She'd always believed in the goodness of people, in the inherent kindness that bound communities together. But as she listened to the news, a creeping sense of unease took root. The world seemed a more fragile place than she'd imagined, and she began to question the very fabric of reality. Her diary, once a repository of romantic fancies, now became a refuge for her troubled thoughts. It was on one of these contemplative evenings, as the wind rustled through the leaves and the radio crackled with static, that a stranger arrived in Willow Creek. Elias, a young man in a military uniform, stepped off the train, his eyes scanning the platform with a mixture of caution and purpose. There was something about him that didn't quite fit with the local boys, something that set him apart. Perhaps it was the way he carried himself, with a quiet confidence that bordered on secrecy. As Aurora watched him from afar, a spark of curiosity flared to life within her. Their eyes met, and for an instant, the world seemed to shrink to the space between them. It was as if the universe had nudged them together, setting in motion a chain of events that would forever alter the course of their lives. Little did they know Elias carried a secret, a mission that would draw Aurora into a web of danger and forbidden love, where the lines between loyalty and betrayal would blur, and the very notion of home would be tested. The peaceful life of Willow Creek was about to intersect with the brutal realities of war, and Aurora's heart would find itself at the center of the storm. As the days turned into weeks, Aurora and Elias's secret meetings became more frequent, their love blossoming like a sunflower in the warmth of summer. They'd steal away to the old barn, its rustic beams creaking softly in the breeze, or walk hand in hand through fields of golden wheat, the rustling of the grain a soothing serenade. In these moments the war seemed to fade into the distance, and all that mattered was the gentle touch of their fingers, the warmth of each other's eyes. Elias, with a hesitant smile, began to reveal his true self to Aurora. He was more than just a charming stranger. He was a German scientist, a deserter from a war he no longer believed in. His presence in Willow Creek was not a coincidence. He was searching for something, a powerful encryption device, an artifact rumored to have the power to change the course of the war. Elias's eyes clouded with worry as he shared his story, the weight of his secrets threatening to consume him. Aurora listened, her heart pounding in her chest, as Elias's words painted a picture of danger and urgency. She saw the fear in his eyes, the desperation, and knew she had to help him. Their love had become a beacon of hope in the darkness, and she was determined to protect it. The diary, once a mere confidant, now became a repository of their love story, a testament to the power of their emotions. As they navigated the complexities of their situation, strange occurrences began to plague the town. Strangers with an air of quiet menace appeared on the streets of Willow Creek, their eyes scanning the crowds as if searching for someone. Elias grew increasingly paranoid, always looking over his shoulder, expecting to see a pair of Nazi agents closing in. Aurora, too, felt the noose tightening, her senses on high alert as she went about her daily routine. One evening, as they explored the dusty passages beneath the old church, Elias's lantern casting eerie shadows on the walls, they stumbled upon an ancient labyrinth. The air was thick with the scent of decay and forgotten history. Cobwebs clung to their faces as they made their way deeper into the maze, the sound of dripping water echoing through the corridors. It was here, in this forgotten place, that Elias believed the artifact lay hidden, left behind by his mentor, a clockmaker with a penchant for secrecy. Aurora's transformation was underway. She was no longer the passive observer she once was. As she helped Elias navigate the labyrinth, she found herself growing more courageous, more resourceful. The diary became her sole confidant, a repository of her fears, her love, and her growing determination. She wrote of the thrill of discovery, of the danger that lurked in every corner, and of the love that had become her anchor in the storm. The stakes were rising, and Aurora knew it. She was now an active participant in Elias's mission, a mission that could mean life or death for both of them. The external threat was escalating, and the line between safety and danger was becoming increasingly blurred. As she looked into Elias's eyes, she knew she would do anything to protect him, to protect their love. The diary, once a simple record of her thoughts, had become a battle cry, a testament to the power of love in the face of adversity. As I recall the events that transpired in the depths of that labyrinthine passage, my heart still swells with a mix of emotions, sorrow, pride, and an unyielding sense of awe at the human spirit. It was as if the very walls of that ancient underground world had been witness to the climax of our tale, a testament to the transformative power of love and sacrifice. The air was heavy with anticipation as Elias and I finally deciphered the last puzzle, the mechanism clicking into place with a software that seemed almost reluctant to surrender its secrets. The chamber beyond was small, the ceiling low, and the silence palpable. And there, nestled in a bed of velvet, lay the artifact, a device of such intricate beauty that it seemed almost otherworldly. The clockmaker's genius was evident in every delicate gear, every precision-cut crystal. But our triumph was short-lived. The sound of footsteps, growing louder with each passing moment, shattered the stillness. Nazi agents, their faces twisted with malice, stormed into the chamber, guns drawn. Elias, his eyes flashing with a mix of fear and determination, pushed me behind him. I remember the feel of his hands on my shoulders, the urgency in his voice as he whispered, "Go, Aurora. I'll hold them off." The ensuing battle was a blur of chaos and confusion. I recall the sound of gunfire, the scent of smoke and sweat, and Elias's voice, calm and steady, directing me through the labyrinth's twisting passages. I moved with a newfound sense of purpose, my knowledge of the underground world guiding me through the darkness. But Elias was wounded, his movements growing more labored with each passing moment. I could feel his pain, his fear, and his unwavering commitment to our cause. In a final desperate bid to save me, to save the artifact, he confronted our pursuers alone. I watched, frozen in horror as he fell, his body broken but his spirit unbroken. In his last moments, Elias's eyes locked onto mine, and I saw a deep well of love, of trust, and of determination. "Take it, Aurora," he whispered, his voice barely audible. "You must protect it. The world needs it." The artifact, now a symbol of our love, our sacrifice, and our defiance, seemed to glow with an otherworldly light, as if it too felt the weight of Elias's passing. I fled, the artifact clutched tightly in my hands, my heart shattered into a million pieces. The darkness of the labyrinth seemed to close in around me, a physical manifestation of the grief that threatened to consume me. Yet, even in the midst of such overwhelming sorrow, I felt a sense of purpose stirring within me. I knew that I had to carry Elias's legacy forward, to ensure that his sacrifice was not in vain. As I emerged into the bright sunlight, the world seemed to stretch out before me like an endless canvas, waiting to be filled with the colors of our story. The diary, now a tangible connection to Elias, to our love, and to the secrets we uncovered, became my solace, my confidant, and my guide. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope, always a reason to keep moving forward. And so I began my journey, a journey that would span generations, a journey that would be marked by trials and tribulations, but also by love, courage, and the unwavering commitment to a cause greater than myself. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the darkness seemed to swallow me whole. The rain-soaked night air clung to my skin like a damp shroud, chilling me to the bone. I stumbled forward, my legs trembling beneath me, as if they too felt the weight of the world I now carried. The artifact, a small, intricately crafted device, felt heavy in my pocket, a constant reminder of the price Elias had paid. The walk home was a blur, my mind reeling with the events that had transpired. Elias's sacrifice replayed in my mind like a cruel taunt, leaving me breathless and bereft. I pushed open the creaky door, and the warm glow of the fireplace seemed a cruel contrast to the chill within me. My family, oblivious to the turmoil that had engulfed me, looked up from their evening routines, concern etched on their faces. "Aurora dear, what's wrong?" my mother asked, rising from her chair. I forced a weak smile, the words catching in my throat. "I'm just tired. I fell in the woods and Elias is gone." The lie tasted bitter on my lips, but I knew it was necessary. I couldn't share the truth, not yet, perhaps not ever. The days that followed were a haze of grief and deception. I attended to my daily tasks with a numb sense of duty, all the while hiding the depth of my sorrow. The diary, Elias's diary, became my sole confidant, the one place where I could express the anguish that threatened to consume me. His words, his thoughts, and his love for me poured out onto the pages, a bittersweet solace in my darkest moments. As I pored over the diary, a nascent resolve began to form within me. I would honor Elias's memory, fulfill his mission, and uncover the secrets of the artifact. The weight of this responsibility was crushing, yet it also gave me a sense of purpose. I started to study the device, poring over Elias's notes, seeking to understand its purpose and the mysteries it held. In the silence of my room by candlelight, I began my solitary research. The local library became my refuge, a place where I could lose myself in books and papers, driven by the need to decipher the artifact's secrets. The sadness in my eyes, a reflection of the pain I carried, seemed to deepen with each passing day. Yet a determination, a spark of Elias's fire, began to flicker to life within me. I would not let his sacrifice be in vain. I would see his mission through, no matter the cost. As I left Willow Creek, the familiar streets and homes fading into the distance, I couldn't help but feel a sense of disorientation. The war had changed everything, and I was now a part of it, carrying a secret that could alter the course of history. My destination was a larger city, a place where I could lose myself in the crowd, where anonymity would be my shield against the prying eyes of those who sought the artifact Elias had given his life for. I settled into a modest apartment, a small, efficient space that served as my sanctuary and my headquarters. The walls were bare, the furniture sparse, but it was home. I threw myself into my mission, poring over Elias's diary, using it as a guide to navigate the complex world of intelligence and cryptography. Libraries and archives became my refuge, the musty smell of old books and documents my comfort. I devoured everything I could find on cryptography, code-breaking, and military strategy. The artifact, Elias's masterpiece, was more than I had initially thought. It was a powerful tool, capable of deciphering enemy codes and predicting strategic movements. I spent countless hours studying it, learning its intricacies and marveling at Elias's genius. But with this knowledge came the realization of the immense danger I faced. The Nazis were still out there, searching for the artifact, and I had to be constantly on guard. I developed skills I never thought I'd need: observation, discretion, and counterintelligence. I learned to decipher coded messages, to subtly evade surveillance, and to gather information in public settings without arousing suspicion. I became a self-taught spy, driven by necessity and my promise to Elias. I recall one particular instance where I successfully decoded a message that had been encrypted, using a complex algorithm. It was a small victory, but it gave me the confidence to continue. But it wasn't easy. The solitude was crushing at times, the weight of my secret life bearing down on me. I felt like I was walking a tightrope, always looking over my shoulder, waiting for the other shoe to drop. There were moments when I narrowly avoided detection, when I spotted a suspicious individual lurking in the shadows. It was a constant game of cat and mouse, one misstep away from disaster. Despite the dangers, I pressed on, fueled by Elias's memory and the importance of my mission. I knew that I was making a difference, that my work could change the course of the war. And with that knowledge, I found the strength to carry on, to keep pushing forward, no matter what lay ahead. The artifact, Elias's legacy, and my determination were all I needed to keep going. I was no longer just a young woman from Willow Creek. I was a guardian of secrets, a keeper of the flame that would one day bring hope to a world torn apart by conflict. As the war finally drew to a close, Aurora felt a sense of relief wash over her, like the gentle lapping of waves on a serene shore. She had done it. She had played her part in the war effort, using the artifact to transmit crucial intelligence that had helped turn the tide of battle. The memories of those long nights spent in her secret office, fingers flying across the radio keys, sending vital information to the Allied forces, still lingered vividly in her mind. She recalled the thrill of knowing that her actions were frustrating enemy plans, contributing to strategic victories that brought her country closer to freedom. The quiet satisfaction of having fulfilled her mission was a balm to her soul. Aurora had given everything to the war, and in return she had received a sense of purpose, a sense of self she never knew she had. As she looked back on those tumultuous years, she realized that her love for Elias had been the catalyst for it all. His sacrifice had not been in vain. It had sparked a fire within her, a flame that had guided her through the darkest of times. With the war over, Aurora sought a new beginning. She left the city behind, returning to the peaceful setting of Willow Creek, where her journey had first begun. The rolling hills, the verdant forests, and the sparkling streams all seemed to welcome her back with open arms. She dedicated herself to community building, using her experiences to help others. She worked with war-affected families, offering them guidance and support as they rebuilt their lives. The artifact, once a burden, had become a cherished symbol of Elias and her past. She carefully stored it in a beautiful music box, its delicate melody a poignant reminder of the love they had shared. As she grew older, Aurora's experiences and wisdom deepened. She became the wise, loving grandmother the narrator knew, embodying serenity and warmth. Her past was a part of her, but it no longer defined her present struggles. The narrator, looking back, began to understand that Aurora's seemingly simple life had been built upon extraordinary experiences and profound sacrifices. The diary now revealed showed the depth of her character, a woman of remarkable strength, resilience, and love. As the narrator sat with her grandmother, listening to her stories, she felt a sense of awe and reverence for this woman who had lived a life of such purpose and courage. And as she looked into her eyes, she saw a spark of Elias, a reminder of the enduring power of love to transcend time and circumstance. As I sit here surrounded by the familiar comforts of home, I find myself lost in the pages of Grandma Aurora's diary. What was once a simple leather-bound book has transformed into a map of her soul, a window into the extraordinary life she lived and the love she shared so selflessly. Reading her words, I feel like I'm unraveling the threads of a tapestry, each strand weaving together to form a picture of a woman who was far more complex, resilient, and courageous than I ever could have imagined. I recall the stories she used to tell me as a child, tales of fairies and heroes, of magic and adventure. At the time, I thought they were just simple fantasies, meant to transport me to far-off lands. But now I realize they were so much more. They were metaphors for her own life, coded messages about the power of love, sacrifice, and determination. The fairies were the strangers who helped her along the way. The heroes were the ordinary people who showed extraordinary bravery. And the magic? That was the love that sustained her, even in the darkest of times. As I reflect on Aurora's legacy, I understand that it's not just about the artifact she left behind or the secrets she kept. It's about the silent strength she embodied, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and the unconditional love she offered to everyone she met. Her life was a testament to the human spirit's capacity for resilience, adaptability, and courage. And as I look back on my own life, I see the parallels between her struggles and triumphs and my own. There are moments when I faced challenges that seemed insurmountable, when the road ahead seemed uncertain. But in those moments, I heard Grandma Aurora's voice, whispering words of encouragement, reminding me of the strength that lay within me. Her experiences, her stories have been a guiding light, illuminating the path forward. Reading her diary has been an emotional journey, one that has taken me to the depths of sorrow and the heights of joy. But ultimately, it's given me a sense of peace, a deeper understanding of life and courage. The diary has become a personal treasure, a guide that I will carry with me for the rest of my life. As I close this chapter, I'm reminded of the power of our stories, the hidden narratives that shape us and inspire us. Grandma Aurora's story has shown me that even in the most turbulent of times, there is beauty to be found, wisdom to be gained, and love to be shared. And I hope that her example will inspire you too, to uncover your own hidden stories, to share them with the world, and to let the complexities and beauty of life's tapestry guide you on your own journey. As we close the chapter on Grandma Aurora's remarkable story, we're reminded that even in the most turbulent of times, love, sacrifice, and resilience can lead to extraordinary legacies. Her journey, hidden away in a diary, reveals the profound impact one person can have on the lives of others. Aurora's courage in the face of adversity, her determination to protect the ones she loved, and her unwavering commitment to making a difference. These are the lessons that will stay with us long after the final page is turned. If Aurora's story has touched your heart, then its purpose has been fulfilled. But the story doesn't end here. It continues through each of us, in our own experiences, struggles, and triumphs. As we reflect on Aurora's life, we're reminded that we all have our own hidden diaries, our own stories of love, loss, and resilience waiting to be discovered. Now we'd love to hear from you. Please take a moment to share your thoughts with us. Leave a comment below, and let's keep the conversation going. What secret do you think Grandma Aurora held dearest to her heart? Your insights will help us create more stories that inspire and uplift. Before you go, we'd be grateful if you could hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for more stories of hope and resilience, and share this video with someone who might need a reminder of the power of love and determination. As we say goodbye to Grandma Aurora's story, we're left with a sense of awe, wonder, and gratitude for the incredible journey we've shared. Thank you for being part of this experience.